are confused about what quantum leaping means, I know there's a lot of like random information out there. Some of it maybe not so grounded. From my perspective, as far as quantum leaping goes, um, in order to do that, you have to get your brain and your logic on board with whatever you want and you desire. So, the fastest way to quantum leap for me, which means you pretty much jump into your highest reality, right? So that could mean like the most abundant version of you, the most healthy version of you, etc., etc. So these habits and daily things that you do affect how you can draw in your manifestations. And so when you quantum leap, your vibration is on that level to receive what you want. So for me, the way I've been able to quantum leap is to make sure to not actually, it's kind of reverse engineering it, and you can do it any way you like, you know what I mean? But for me, I had to kind of slowly get myself used to not living with poverty, essentially. Because, I mean, in the past, I've survived fine on about $1,000 a month. And so that was what I was used to, was $1,000 a month. I was comfortable with it. I thought it was actually good until I realized, oh no, there's better. Granted, I would manifest in other ways. I'd manifest free food. I'd manifest free vitamins. I'd manifest certain things. You know what I mean? People would come into my life that would help, you know, things like that. But I finally got to a point where I wanted to be more independent, more self-sufficient, and I wanted to up level and grow. So, in order to get that, I had to start acting like that version of me in the future. And so I had to figure out how she would talk, how she would act, how she would look, how, you know, what she likes, what she doesn't like, blah, blah, blah. What kind of friends she wants, what kind she doesn't, you know? And I had to actually align my lifestyle to that. And only then was when I quantum leaped into future me, if that makes sense. I'm hoping. Because sometimes you can quantum leap overnight. I've done it before, but it's really hard. You have to like work up to it. It's hard to do it overnight if you've started from really low. So you kind of have to work up to it where your brain can get behind it, if that makes sense. Your logic can get behind it. It can make sense. I didn't want to say quantum leaping is hard. It's not hard. Some people are more receptive than others. It was a bit hard for me in the beginning because it was hard for me to shut down my logical brain and release and be open to money coming in. So, like, 10K sounded like a lot to me, and it seemed a little like unrealistic, if that makes sense. And so I had to get my logical brain behind that number and comfortable with that number in order to quantum leap to it. So I just had to sit there and like pretty much play with numbers and figure out like how much do I need to make a month in order to make this amount, or how much in a day do I have to make in order to make this amount? And really just make it not a big deal. Which it's hard at first when you are not used to that. You know what I mean? So that's what my experience with quantum leaping is. But obviously quantum leaping can happen. Like, it's easy for some people. Like, people win the lottery and stuff out of nowhere and probably weren't even manifesting. Or maybe they were, who knows, but they were a little more receptive than someone like me who needs to, like, logically, for some reason, my brain will start giving me blocks. So once I was in that vibration where I was changing my daily habits to match the version of me I wanted to be, and then also making sense of the numbers and logical end. So I was also taking care of my brain in that process and letting my brain get behind it in a logical way. And that was the easiest way for me. So if you're more logical, I would say try it, because that's been the only way I've been able to quantum leap, is to actually get my brain behind it, my logic side, and kind of infuse it with the woo-woo side, as in meditating, breath work, doing all the woo-woo stuff, you know? So yeah, I hope it helps.